What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the Negro Cart. I can't even get it out. The Negro Cart, the Negro Clark Kent, aka the Honey Bun Harasser, aka the Sugar Cookie Sentai, bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites. Number 44 to be exact. Today's date is February 27th, 2020. The month of Black Excellence is almost over. Unfortunately, the celebration of blackness is almost over. Get all that blackness in before March. This is a PSA. Not sure why I mentioned that, but whatever. Some pretty interesting news came out this week. Yet again, we still do not have a damn PS5 release date or any more information. So there's that. I lost a damn bet in our forums. For those that don't know, I frequent the era that is reset. Made a bet that PS5 will be revealed at least on February 25th. I think that's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, which did not happen, unfortunately. So now I'm gonna have to get a doopy looking avatar of their choosing. Hopefully it'll be somewhat respectable. But hey, I'll put my avatar on the line saying, hey, PS5 is gonna be announced by February 25th, and that didn't happen. So you know what? Gotta take it in stride. Live with it, Just gotta keep on moving. You can't stop. Can't stop. Don't stop. Won't stop. Let's stop all that dilly-dallying and get right into that news. So first topic of discussion, Kazuhisa Hashimoto, the creator of the Konami code of up, down, down, left, right, BA. I guess starting later sequences, but at least that was the origins of it all, or arguably probably the first ever cheat code technically, has passed away. So I believe he was 60. I'm not sure if they had all those details yet. This is according to Pix and Love. It's that's sad, man. Like the God that has something that's going to be instilled in us in like forever. You can see it like probably the most recent thing that comes to mind is Google Stadia has pretty much that same code to like pair your controller. So that code is never going to die, man. Even though I guess technically cheat codes feel like they've been pretty dormant, but I mean up, down, down, left, right, BA is just ingrained in every gamer that's grew up in what, like 85 and up, I'd say. So rest in peace, Kazuhisa Hashimoto. Your code will live on forever. A part of you will live on within us forever. Next topic of discussion. GameStop. Oh boy, that ship's still sinking, in case you didn't know. So apparently there's been some ramblings going on about yet even more closures of the store. At least hypothetically 700 to 1,000 more stores being closed. I think that's not, I guess, hugely detrimental to GameStop currently, since I think they have like 3,000 or 4,000 in total. But I mean, obviously that's like what, almost 25%. That's a pretty significant chunk, if anything. So yeah, that ship is sinking, man. I don't know if they can ever, you know, ultimately prevent it unless they go all digital, or um yeah, that's the only way I can think of, all digital, or I guess, really consolidate their stores. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what they're doing anyway. Oh man, never mind. 5,000 locations. So this is still kind of chump change in somewhat, but still, that's pretty detrimental. So I'd say be cautious of any pre-orders you have, or I guess it depends on whatever store. I'm assuming the more popular cities like where I'm at aren't going to be necessarily affected, considering the traffic and stuff. But I know I've seen some ridiculous setups of GameStops where it's like literally two stores right by each other and stuff like that. So I'm pretty certain those will probably be on their way out. But at least one will be taken out and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Next topic of discussion. For those that aren't familiar, Etika, aka Desmond, who passed away roughly a year ago, I want to say. That's what it felt like. I followed his content. He was a pretty notable content creator on YouTube who made a lot of Nintendo focused content, at least. I know he's kind of maybe dabbled outside that, but generally he's always stuck with Nintendo, from all I've remembered and recalled. So he had a mural made, in honor of, his impact that he made across pretty much the gaming community, I'd say. At least for his mural, they did create a Pokemon Go, a particular stop, where basically it's been a while since I played Pokemon Go, but I'm pretty much familiar with that concept where you basically go to a Pokestop, and I think it varies in terms of what you can do from there, but it's a pretty awesome touch, on somebody who's I feel contributed a lot to Nintendo's community in a positive way for sure. So nice little nod to Etika, for this mural. And yeah, man, RIP still. That just that whole thing still gets to me when I think about it. Something so fickle can just happen like that in a snap, man. It's crazy. Let me notice keep going out. Just a compressor. Is it my compressor? Is it? Do you keep going out? I think that's it. Okay. Next topic of discussion. This is kind of crazy when you think about it. So apparently, YouTube and Twitch streamer Kurt0411 was banned from every EA game and online service after rants and threats. So apparently he's a dick. Big surprise in this day and age. And I guess he's probably just very vocal about EA. I mean, obviously it's a given EA has a lot of problems, but he was probably one to presumably, talk bad about EA in a lot of cases and, hark on them and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess it's crazy. At least why I bring this up is that it's just to ban him from every single game and online service related to EA. I don't think I've ever heard or seen before. That's why it seems so just crazy They're like, man, they just really don't like this guy or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's just crazy to me. That hey, they get to some point, they'll do it. They'll do it. I'm curious what would prevent him from making another account, but I guess technically they could ban his IP, but I think there's technically ways you can get around that too. But yeah, I mean, either way, he got the message, and probably all the related accounts he's put a lot of money and stuff into. Yeah, he got what he deserved apparently. Um, I mean, goes to show you shouldn't be an ass, really. That doesn't get you anywhere. So very interesting. Next topic of discussion. The Xbox Series X. This week they revealed a couple more details. A lot of the stuff we already knew for the most part, but it is nice to get some confirmation. At least some of the aspects that stood out, at least that we haven't necessarily seen or was at least confirmed, are quick resume for multiple games, which technically is in the on the Xbox One, but it's very cumbersome and not worthwhile. You ultimately it's more of a hurdle than a convenience currently with the Xbox One. You can resume for most part, but most of the time it seems to always cause issues where just some weird irregularities in the game, just very random stuff. So more than most people, I would assume at least, end up just closing the app and reopening it whenever they want to play a game or go back to a game. Maybe, I guess it's not noticeable for like maybe going somewhere for like 15 minutes and coming back or something like that, but leaving it for a long time, especially with instant on and then like coming back to it later, I think it's still pretty problematic, in those scenarios. So hopefully, I know they claim that you can, at least what they're claiming straight up, quick, I don't know why I wanted to say resume. Boy, that's like some Key and Peele type stuff. Quick resume for multiple games. So they at least elaborated that you can quick resume pretty much multiple games. So basically, from what they're saying, you can have multiple games open, which you can't do on the Xbox One. You have to close the current app you're on to access the next one. So it's like that's a big jump in of itself. And then that really all in of itself is just hard to fathom. But I mean, they say it can happen apparently. So believe it when I see it. I'm not having high expectations for that. I'm guessing it might cause more problems than good, but I'm at the same time wanting to be optimistic and keeping an open mind to see ideally if it does what it says and claims to do. So, and then the other notable aspect to these confirmations basically is smart delivery. So apparently that is, let me refresh my memory. Yeah, we'll go quote by quote. Smart delivery. This technology empowers you to buy a game once and know that whether you are playing it on Xbox One or Series X, you are getting the right version of that game on whatever Xbox you're playing on. We're making the commitment to use smart delivery on all our exclusive Xbox Game Studios titles, including Halo Infinite, ensuring you only have to purchase a title once in order to play the best available version of whichever Xbox console they choose to play on. This technology is available for all developers and publishers, and they can choose to use it for titles that will be released on Xbox One first and come to Xbox Series X later. Okay, so Yeah, basically kind of what the Xbox One X is doing with within the family of the Xbox One. So basically, if you put a disc into the Xbox One or Xbox One S, you get that version of the game. But if you put the same disc, like let's say for example Gears 5 in Xbox One X um, disc tray, basically it'll download. I think it gives you an option if you choose to. It'll download the extra 4K assets for getting a 4K fidelity for said game. So that is pretty cool. At least mess with it firsthand, and especially making the transition from Xbox One S to Xbox One X was pretty seamless and pretty cool. Like, man, just going from Halo 5, which is had some trickery in terms of performance, which I mean it was smooth, mind you, but just making that jump from like 1080p, or I think it was 900p, to like 4K. I think legit. What's the term? 4K, actual 4K. Of course, the memory is slipping my head. Native 4K, no checkerboarding and all that. Boy, looking buttery. Looking buttery like a biscuit. Like, no, buttery like butter on a biscuit. There we go. So, yeah, this looks pretty enticing. I guess to kind of piggyback on that, Cyberpunk 2077 announced specifically that owners on Xbox One will also own it for Series X at no further charge. So now I know this kind of raised some concerns and questions at the same time, because I guess it's kind of confusing in terms of how this is gonna roll out, really. So basically, will there just only be an Xbox One version of Cyberpunk 2077? Or are they gonna make like later down the line, or right when the Xbox Series X releases? Probably, I know they normally get to release the games like a week or two before the actual console comes out in some cases, but will Cyberpunk 2077 have like a Series X labeling and box, but they're basically essentially the same thing? Or is this, or even like worse, could the Xbox One version, you can pop into your Series X and it plays just like a traditional Series X version? Or will Series X version itself maybe be slightly more optimized for the Series X than the Xbox One version of the game, and maybe have that potential weird, I guess, difference in parallel there, possibly? It seems like it, at least, that Xbox is going the right way about it, that, hey, you get one game and you get it once and that's it. So the optimist in me wants to believe that, but the pessimist in me at the same time is going to be a little skeptical. I mean, I know we're definitely going to hear about it if that is the case, that it's not what we were, believed that it was to be. So I guess we'll ultimately have to wait and see. But at least on paper, it seems like if you get Cyberpunk 2077 for, like, let's say, for example, Xbox One X, play it, and then when the Series X comes out, then you just pop it in, and then I think it's just natively everything is upgraded and utilized, and taking advantage of the capabilities of the Series X and whatnot after that. So it at least it's good that Xbox is setting a precedent, like, hey, the option is there for developers to do good for cross-gen games, like Watch Dogs Legion, probably probably the next Assassin's Creed, the next Call of Duty and stuff. That's gonna probably be the ultimate test to see if, you know, developers are gonna like take advantage of this and try to, you know, cash grab and penny pinch and stuff like that by charging and stuff like that. So we'll have to really see, really, but it's good to see that you know, Xbox is showing some goodwill in terms of, hey, you know, it's on the developers and publishers, not us. They have all the tools they need to do what they need to do. I'm curious if it does the same with physical. I hope this is in like no, because I guess in theory, at least how the Xbox backwards compatibility works with 360 and Xbox original Xbox game is that you just pop the disc in and then it just downloads the respective game, so it does pick it up and realize it and takes it as a token, which I would assume just happens in the same way as a Series X. So I guess, yeah, at least all games you have for the Xbox One will natively be upgraded come the next generation, which is so damn good to hear. All this damn nickel and diamond is I've had enough. I've had enough of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Hopefully PlayStation 5 follows suit, or they're gonna look real ugly in comparison. But again, PlayStation just want to be incognito and got that incognito tab open pretty much all damn day. Well, past 3 to 5 months, being real quiet about their details. So yeah, all in all, good stuff. Yeah, just you know, 12 teraflops, ray tracing, a lot of that we already knew pretty much. SSD storage, they confirmed that. I think we did get a little bit more validation in terms of the expandable storage slot that was showed in that leak image. That was like a huge ass rectangle. Apparently that is like at least what we all speculated, that it is probably more than likely for expandable storage to some extent. So very curious to see how that's going to play out all together. But all the tools are there, man. You just got to execute. Just execute. Sound like a football coach. Just execute. Damn it, just execute. Damn it, just execute. I don't know who that is. Damn it, just execute. Dumb. Next topic of discussion. So I guess take this with a grain of salt. So at least what's been going around, that mail of rumors, the PS5 controller will potentially, keyword potentially, possibly, maybe not at all, track your heart rate and sweat secretion, at least suggested by a patent. So mind you, patents can be like, you know, I believe for this one in particular was taken way in advance anyway. So with a lot of patents, you still have to take it as surface value, because a lot of them are just there for security and insurance in case they do want to act upon an idea. But in a lot of cases, they don't ultimately act upon the idea of it. So this could just be, you know, water under the bridge. But it is, I think it is an interesting kind of tidbit to ponder on in terms of, you know, the possibility of the next gen. Since, you know, whenever it comes to next gen, you know, people just shooting anything out there when you think about it, in regards to, you know, just thinking of the most outlandish stuff, because we've never seen it before, and it's got to be something we've never seen before for it to be, you know, next gen kind of type deal. So yeah, that's apparently what it does. Just tracks your heart rate and sweat secretion. I'm curious, you know, that obviously has a pretty cool application for, like, you know, scary games, horror games and stuff like that, where maybe based on how your heart rate is or something like that, or sweat secretion, which all are general indicators of, you know, stress, fear, and things of that nature. That yeah, that seems to be the only game I could think of that will really, you know, utilize it and really, I guess, thrive off it, if anything. Of course, Hideo Kojima would, you know, oh man, you gotta beat this boss by just sweating a lot. I don't know how to do it. I guess I just gotta do some jumping jacks and hopefully I could beat him and beat this damn game. That's at least I'm just seeing it right now. Hideo's gonna have you like, you gotta, man, you gotta just kill yourself first. You know, get a 911 to come and get your heart back, get your heart rate up like insanely fast, and just die, and then come back and then play, and then you beat the boss. they will just put a label, a Hideo Kojima game. Oh man, this is the best game ever. Oh my god, I died and came back, man. Boy, yeah. I mean, you ain't living until you died and came back. And man, whew, boy, Hideo Kojima, he really did it for me, man. I never thought I'd ever play a game where I die and come back to life, like mid boss fight. A Hideo Kojima game. So dumb. Oh my god. But hey, you know, it might happen. I personally don't, because I mean, I don't want to sweat on my controller. That's the last thing I want to do. I barely want hands, you know, that aren't mine on the controller. You know, oils and, you know, just Cheeto dust and syrup and, you know, just baby oil. I don't know why you have baby oil put it on your hands and then put it. I mean, people are weird. So, you know, I mean, take it for what it is. Just don't. I mean, I guess people like putting baby oil on their controllers. I don't know. I don't know how you get off. I don't know how you live your life. But, you know, yeah, I don't see this really happening. But, I mean, I guess. I mean, I maybe sweat mildly when I'm trying hard at a game, but not intentionally. So, sure, yeah, I guess. Like, okay, yeah. What? All right. How? I guess they don't really show any indications of it. I guess just through iconography in terms of it, like I guess showing a caricature like sweating and heart rate pumping. But at least the 5 control looks cool though, at least from these kind of pre-made shots or mock-ups. It looks basically like the 4, but just more bigger and wider and kind of Xbox One-y, just in terms of just overall general width and girth, it feels like. At least if the mock-ups are true. We ultimately don't know yet, other than some semi-leaked images and stuff like that. So huge ass grain of huge ass grain of salt. I'm just throwing everywhere. I'm just throwing salt everywhere. I'm just a salty man today. Them sodium levels is gonna be through the roof. You hear me? Through the damn roof. Next topic of discussion. As we know, the Wonderful 101 remastered was successfully backed, and they're basically on their way. I believe they announced recently that they are also releasing it, at least in May. I'm pretty sure for backers they get it in April, and then for general customers they get it in May. So, Switch and PS4, Wonderful 101 there. So at least going on a train of, I believe they called it the Platinum 4, kind of akin to the Capcom 5. I'm pretty sure it's kind of a direct reference of it. One of the projects they did reveal, in addition to a trailer, which at least at the moment is called Project GG A Go Go. Project GG A Go Go. Very hard to ignore the Beautiful Joe reference. Henshin a go-go, baby. Got it. I got it. But at least in the trailer, I caught it. Basically, it's like a Ultraman, Godzilla-ish, but I guess maybe Ultraman is the primary reference. It seems like here, where it seems like you're gonna play Ultraman ripoff, in terms of where you grow in immense size and fight random Japanese monsters, which I've never really experienced in a game before, so I'm all for it. And I mean, Hideki Kamiya, I mean, his track record in general is just like, it's just steel proof, it's just like bulletproof, because like what, a Bayonetta, motherfucking Astral Chain, motherfucking you know what? He worked on Resident Evil 1 and 2. Okami, I haven't played that yet, but I heard that's really good too. So dude is impeccable, man. I think he helped get up Devil May Cry, the original one. I mean, the dude is impeccable, I'm just saying. But that trailer looked clean though. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Looks sweet. I just can't wait to see like somebody who put a spin on that and make it like with the platinum kind of pizzazz that they're known for. Fucking Vanquish. I mean, come on now. I'm just Jesus. You can't deny that. You can't. You can't. You can't. All right? Just saying. So, yeah, apparently that's going to be the next project, probably after the Wonderful 101 drops. Looking forward to it, man. It looks cool. From the trailer, it looks pretty sweet. Got the blue eyes, and he's like big and hulking and fighting like what looks to be like a Godzilla ripoff. So I'm all for it. Haven't really watched Ultraman like that, but I get the concept. If it's anything similar to Power Rangers, I kind of get the gist. Probably just that, just with mechanized, huge combat. So either way, I'm all in. It's Hideki Kamiya. I'm all in. I'm all in. Place all bets. Place all bets right now. Thankfully, finally, we did get some more details, more information regarding Resident Evil 3. So basically, a video, I guess a pre-cut video from Capcom has been floating around. I guess to selected media folks, as well as previews where a lot of the media outlets are allowed to speak on what they played at the game. Apparently they invited a fair amount of the media to play I think 2 to 3 hours of Resident Evil 3, at least pre-selected moments or whatnot. So at least from what everybody's saying, looking pretty spiffy. At least from what I saw in terms of trailers, man, boy, that's a lot of stuff to kind of dissect. Cause Jesus, but everything is looking great. At least going by what I saw, at least the general gameplay. I know they pretty much showed a lot of the segments. They already showed the trailers in the trailers really. They showed a fair amount of the subway / sewer area, where basically, they had Carlos with that flowing hair, who, he's still taking a break from tech, and he gonna come back eventually after, he resolves the virus outbreak. Like his voice, seems to be pretty cool, and he still keeps that same essence of trying to woo Jill every chance he get, which was exactly how he was in the game. Just sadly corny in every aspect, which pretty much is essentially the same in this one. So not surprised, but I'm glad they are trying to. You could feel they're trying to stick as true to the original while trying to deviate and improve where they see fit, which is definitely the impression I got from just seeing literally every video and preview I could get my hands on. So it's always a good sign. One aspect I caught and saw was the perfect dodge mechanic. So basically it's essentially in the game still technically and updated, revised. So pretty much kind of basically similar to the original game. If you dodge at the right time, you can do a super slow mo dodge where I think you have the option to just escape, or you can choose to aim and obliterate the zombie that was about to attack you. So that was pretty damn cool, and a nice balance of, you know, mixing the old with the new, and still kind of paying homage to the original, which I definitely immensely greatly appreciate. So perfect dodge is confirmed. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like it seemed like a defined or a dedicated dodge button. So, and I also was hearing from the previews that apparently it is balanced where you can't like spam it constantly to, like, you know, somewhat get the same effect. So I think after like 3 consecutive dodges in a row, she'll have a recharge period where she, you know, she'll breathe like she's out of breath or something like that. At least from what I got from some of those previews. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice way to balance it, and, you know, encourage playing it, using it legitimately, and instead of just spamming it and hoping for the best. Does at least encourage some execution and timing and thought in terms of trying to get it to work efficiently for you in your favor. So I thought that was very cool. And then probably the other notable moment was the Hunter Gamma. So basically is the big frog looking thing. At least I feel like I remember it the most from Resident Evil Outbreak. But I believe it had like I think only like 1 appearance generally in 3. At least in one of the particular moments, but at least now, boy, that boy, it look ugly. Look just fugly. And boy, yeah, it looks like of course one of those one-hitter quitters, because apparently as soon as it touched Jill, it was gone. She was a literal Jill sandwich. I mean, literally folded her ass in half and ate her up conveniently like a sandwich. So part of me felt like that was intentional. I just thought about that now. Wow, she like was literally a sandwich, ate up like a sandwich. Wow. Huh. So yeah, that was a pretty cool aspect, and of course they showed the goddamn the tyrant of all tyrants, Mr. Stars himself, Mr. Tentacle Man. I got tentacles for days. Nemesis. So they showed a bit of him just busting through walls, like, you know, hey, it's just another day in Raccoon City. Basically being a little bitch to Jill. So apparently, at least what they showed, that basically whenever you're trying to run away from him, he'll just basically just use his tentacles to just trip your ass and drag you to him. At least from the demos, it seemed like she did a brief moment of where she was just laying there, where it seemed like the animation indicated that like she can like maybe shoot while she's laying down, kind of like Resident Evil 6, but I don't think to that level of freedom where you can just dodge and, like, you know, lay on the ground ultimately if you want it. So that I found that kind of interesting. But I don't think, and that was one aspect too, I think I did what I really at least felt like, the impression I got was that it seemed like the game was keeping a very delicate balance of you know, not being too actiony, which in a lot of cases takes away from the fear and scariness of the game, but at the same time not being too scary where you're, you know, underpowered and, like, you know, being like I guess Outlast, where I believe you essentially don't have any form of defense or, you know, to defend yourself. So I think it kept a really good balance of both, where, you know, it felt like it seemed like a sweet spot where it is obviously more action oriented than RE2, but at the same time not being a, you know, suplex town, haymaker having, you know, flip kick knee pop, that is, you know, the later action oriented games. So, which I thought was cool and I appreciated. Um, just keeping that balance of, not being too overpowered where you don't feel any fear, but, you can still defend yourself where you're not just dreading every moment and stuff like that. So I thought that was great. That was definitely an impression I got. And going back to Nemesis, motherfucker got like a fucking goddamn what do you call the damn it's been so long. Got a 4.0 440 or whatever, in football where it's been so long. You run from one point to another and the time you got the time it takes to run from set points to points. Damn it, I gotta look that up now. Damn it. I'm curious. Combine measurements or combine workouts. I think it was 440. I swear it's like 440. Yeah, 40-yard dash. I forgot the nickname. Like, hey man, what's your 440 or what's your 40? See. Yeah, 449, 466. Okay. So the lower the better, of course. So yeah, fucking fucking Nemesis ran like a 280 or something, because he at least in the trailer they were showing that he basically, if you're out of his view and you're running away from him still, he can at least in some cases do like a motherfucking fucking Uber dash, just dash directly in front of you, just being a real bitch, just being a real pain in the ass. And that's just, I could just dread that right now. But I could see obviously a lot of the same animations and stuff are definitely taken from from Tyrant, from Mr. X, from Resident Evil 2 remake. So I feel like I kind of have some comfortability with that, especially playing the hell out of that game. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna play and kind of mess with your expectations here. So that was pretty cool. I also heard there was some rumor or some hints about Nemesis having this weird, pretty cool feature, which was kind of like an ode to the original RE1 remake, where apparently he can possibly, not been confirmed of course, he could possibly infect other zombies, and I guess they can somewhat be like super zombies, kind of like the Crimson Heads from RE1 remake. So I thought that was pretty cool. That if it is true, that'd be a cool little aspect or twist in terms, his original design, especially, obviously not being able to interact with the zombies in the first one, really. You could still see some remnants of him kind of being like Mr. X, like knocking other zombies out the way, like, get the fuck out of my way. I need to get Jill right now. Need to choke her ass. That was funny too. At least in in the trailer or the extended gameplay footage, Jill was climbing up the ladder and Nemesis was like, hey bitch. Grabbed her head full, pulled her up by her head, and then just tossed her ass in the street. And then he's like, hey, I got this flamethrower. I mean, what you about to do? Because you about to get toasted right now. That's literally what he should have said. Oh man, I really gotta start doing some really gotta start doing messing around with some dubs of of that, man. I got this flamethrower. I don't know what you about to do, but it's about to get real toasty up in here. So yeah, man. And that kind of led me to some suspicions considering, you know, now they have the opportunity to do so. And I guess kind of the maybe they took, I hate to say it, maybe they took some slight reference from the Resident Evil movies, where maybe Tyrant has more of a human element than he did before. And that maybe because at least, you know, what I was talking about earlier, picking Jill's head up and throwing her is like, why wouldn't he just kill her outright? So I feel like there's probably going to be some element there that maybe, who knows, could be somebody she knows or knew, that maybe could lead to some of that, possibly. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it, but I don't know. It's hard to me to believe that Nemesis would just pick your head up and just toss you just to shoot you with a flamethrower instead. I don't know. That's definitely a video game sin right there. And that, I hate it. I hate it. That's one thing too. I've been watching somewhat recently watching a lot of video game sins videos, kind of like akin to the movie sins, where, you know, just general weird like logic that doesn't make sense in real life, that you know, you just write off as game logic. Basically this show kind of, you know, harkens on that. I forgot the damn channel, but pretty sure it's probably the most popular of them, I believe or feel. But yeah, so I can see that coming one time or another. But yeah. So yeah, overall, Nemesis looks pretty great. I'm seeing him in motion and everything, loving his design. Didn't really get to hear him say stars that much. I know he said it, but it was very deep and low. Stars, something like that. But it was very like more kind of obfuscated, I'd say, to kind of make out. But it was there for sure. I liked it, at least from what I heard. It was like, okay, all right. I like the take. So overall, man, shaping up to be, can I speak today? Shaping up to be pretty damn great remake. Potentially could be better than 2. We'll see. It's kind of sad. We at least, I believe they somewhat confirmed that there isn't going to be any live selection in the game, which is unfortunate. For those that don't know, live selection in the original game was an option where basically certain points in the game you would get, you have to make a split decision. So at least like one of the first ones is that, like, you know, Nemesis comes in front of you and you have two choices where you can like fight him head on or run away from him by going into the RPD office that way. And then, you know, other various ones too. And some of them like drastically changed the ending, as well as you going to certain other completely alternate paths that you wouldn't go versus the opposite route. But they did say that live selection isn't coming back, but it could possibly like be somewhat hidden, quote unquote, where like you do kind of have those choices still, but they're just not as pronounced as they used to be in the original. So yeah, I mean, I'd settle for it, but personally I would have liked just having that choice, because I felt like it added like another sense of fear, kind of urgency, and like, you know, I don't know, just kind of anxiety that kind of added to, like, you know, kind of the atmosphere of the game, like having those moments like, oh shit, I don't know what I should do. I could go this way, but I don't know, Tyrant might beat my ass because I don't have as much, you know, I don't got like too many first aid sprays, so maybe I should just run away from him, and, you know, stuff like that. I thought would have been pretty cool to still keep intact, but apparently that might not be the case. So, you know, hey, take what I can get. Take what I could get in this case. I mean, hey, we're getting an RE3 remake, so I mean, that's enough for me, to be honest. Just seeing this come to fruition, as beautiful as it looks. In some cases, it just maybe just how it was artistically made, looks almost better than RE2 in some cases. So, yeah, man, looking pretty good overall. So I'm very 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 much looking forward to it. Um, if and what, well, I mean, it's close. It's gonna be like literally a month from now. Um, so that release date is imminent, very imminent. Just saying. Um, yeah, I think we covered. Oh yeah, damn, I forgot that they did announce a demo too. So they say via their Twitter, it was written in the stars. I want to say it's written in the stars. A Resident Evil 3 demo is on the way. We'll have more details in the near future. So near future, I don't know. That could be any time. Near future insinuates is more further than we're expecting. So at least in regards to, or as the Resident Evil 2 remake was concerned, probably like a week, 2 weeks before it actually released. So I mean that's probably maybe the deadline at the latest we'll probably get it. Which yeah, that might be the most likely. Hopefully it's not a damn time demo again, which I thought that was so dumb and archaic. We'll play it enough to where we'll get tired and, you know, be hunkering and yearning for the actual full game. So I don't know. We'll see though. Hey, but I mean we getting a demo. Being able to play the game before it comes out is great. But hey, you know, if it is a time demo, I got 3 opportunities to play it. The benefits of multi-platform gaming at its finest there. That was just so dumb. I hope they don't do that. That was the dumbest thing. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And then yeah, even on PC, Steam, they like cracked that like almost immediately. So all you had to do was get on PC, get a crack for it to get rid of the damn timer, and then bam, there you go. Play as much as you want. Even though in theory, like me personally, I wouldn't play it maybe like 4 or 5 times and then I'd be done. And you're like, okay, all right, I'm good for the full game when it comes out. So I'm excited. Can't wait. Can't wait. Nemesis is about to get his ass beat. Oh yeah, I also heard somebody confirm too that that the line is in there, the ending line. I mean spoilers for a 20-year-old game, but I guess they use it somewhere different anyway. But you know, stars. I'll show you stars. I was like, that's make or break right there. But apparently she uses it outside of where she originally used it in the original game. So not really a spoiler. It was just a line of dialogue that was, you know, very, very 90s action movie-esque, but just corny in the best way, that it was very endearing and just like, yeah, that's just Resident Evil, just B-movie action, you know, corny 90s line that I was hoping was still be in, just because it's just so great in the best and wrong way. So next topic of discussion, they did announce in terms of Streets of Rage 4, a new character in particular. What is his name again? Floyd Ariaya. I get a Samoan vibe from him, maybe black and Samoan kind of. It's hard to kind of tell. But look like Jax's son. Just a straight rip off of Jax. He just has the robotic arms. I mean, that in of itself, the robotic arms, I mean, they can detach, and it seems like, but yeah, very Max, not Max, Jax like. But yeah, does seem like a combination of Max and Zan, which I know a lot of us were speculating, at least according to the silhouette they showed for the game before, you know, revealing all the characters. I was like, that looks a lot like I was thinking Max like underwent the same procedure as Dr. Zan or something like that, or something. Because I was like, they had to have some big guy to add to kind of the diversity of the characters too. Thinking about it that way as well. So, but then on top of that, they did announce that there will be 2-player online and 4-player offline co-op. So, of course, I definitely would love to see 4-player online co-op, but I'm pretty sure that was like a nightmare to kind of code for and develop. Having 4 players simultaneously online, in terms of net code and stuff like that, who hitting who and stuff. Yeah, it seems like a nightmare, but who knows? Maybe they could just need more time to work on it, and maybe it'll, could be implemented in a patch afterward. But I did catch some gameplay. Seeing a 4-player in action is pretty it's pretty dope. It's very somewhat not as hectic as I was anticipating, but it was somewhat OP. Definitely the 4 characters are the odds are in their favor. Maybe you can probably up the difficulty or something like that, but it was pretty legit. And boy, I think what seems like the first level music kind of can go straight. It was fire. It was like I'd bump that legitimately. It was like some you get very, very Streets of Rage vibes, which, hey, that's all I could really ask for ultimately. So I was loving the soundtrack to begin with, with that. So, and then, getting that confirmation that Yuzo Koshiro is getting involved still. I think he's probably making a couple tracks, but not making a full soundtrack. But hey, I think this is the best way they could have did it. Streets of Rage 4, baby. I'm ready. It's looking very, very, very polished. I mean, I feel like at any moment they could actually just drop this like a surprise release, but I know they're probably gonna have some announced date. But I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving what I'm seeing a lot. You hear me? I'm loving what I'm seeing out very much so. Yeah. So, in very weird ass random news, man, so Final Fantasy VII Remake, they apparently are doing some cross promotion with Mars, I guess ultimately, with Butterfinger, Baby Ruth, and Crunch. So basically, if you get 2 candy bars, you get like in the span of 2 to 10 candy bars, you get various items in the gift for the game, basically. But boy, I am so disappointed. The most missed opportunity in gaming, cross promotion ever. I don't see any option here for a Butterfinger Buster Sword. And like, come on, Mars, Square Enix, what are y'all doing right now? Butterfinger Buster Sword. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Buster Sword, Butterfinger, Butterfinger, Buster Sword. It's so simple. I caught this post on the Era, but no goddamn, I didn't see no trace of a Butterfinger Buster Sword. Missed opportunity, man. They could have got a solid customer. Cause just the dumbness of that all I would have got. But you know what? Maybe maybe Square was like, hey, you know what? This is a little too much. Cloud with a Butterfinger Buster Sword. I don't know if I approve of this. I mean, I'd be fine with it, But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. Maybe it's secret. Maybe it's a secret. You get like 20 candy bars. That's what you get. But boy, yeah, they promoting some death. Cause yeah, you get an item at 2 candy bars, 4 candy bars, 6 candy bars, 8 candy bars, and 10 whole candy bars. You get various items. So I guess you can just buy the candy bars and just dispose of them. But I mean, that's like $16. whatever. I'm just saying. Butterfinger Buster Sword. It is not that hard. Just saying. Okay, I am done with that. I am done with that. I really am. Really am. You know, disappointed. Disappointed. Okay. Well, that covers all the news for this week. Let's get into what I've been playing up to. So you know, hey, big surprise, Modern Warfare. All right. The game is great. It's got its hooks deep in me. I keep playing it, but I don't want to stop. So I've been basically trying to get a lot of the challenges because they unlock every level. I'm on like 115 right now. I think 114. The max is 155. So been you know, getting them challenges in. They're pretty engaging and fun. I guess part of me just wants to get out the way so I can just play the weapons I want to play, because I guess I unintentionally want to get the Damascus camo, which is basically getting all the camo unlocks for every weapon in the game. So you know. Yeah, outside of that, that's been pretty much it for that. Devil May Cry 3, I've been playing that over the weekend too. I beat hard mode. And I'm trying to well, I actually unlocked maxed out all of the styles, which is what I was trying to get done. So I do have all the styles maxed out again now. So now I feel like a god, especially with freestyle mode. Boy, it's gonna be a problem. Also, I've been on YouTube a lot, just researching, which it was a lot of crap I did not know about this game that even is like even more, makes the game even more enjoyable. There's apparently some crazy combos I like aimlessly just ranted about it on Twitter. There were some crazy combos I didn't know about. There was one with Spiral, Artemis, and the Beowulf gauntlets. I didn't know you can do Rising Dragon and then crazy combo out of that in the midair. I was like, what in the mess? But then again, it's like, at least for the weapons I didn't mess with, like Spiral and other ones, because of the limitations of the weapon selection. You know, that left it on the wayside. But one cool benefit of this freestyle mode is that I do find myself playing with those weapons I otherwise wouldn't want to play with, which is cool. I'm like kind of implementing them in like some of my combos and stuff with other weapons and getting that synergy going, which was really cool. There was also the shotgun one I didn't know. When you do the shotgun stinger, you can do a crazy combo off of that, I was like, that was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. And just now be able to quickly access all those moves at your arsenal. Man, that game is just great. That is definitely one of my top 10 games for sure. Especially this edition. That just knocked it up a couple notches as well. Goodness. And then, yeah, outside of that, I've been like researching. There's apparently jump canceling in terms of the game. So basically, you obviously, I know a lot of people that play Devil May Cry know about the enemy step, where basically if you jump on an enemy and you basically, if you don't hit the ground and you jump on an enemy instead, it gives you the same properties as if you were to jump on land on the ground. So basically resets your options of you know, doing a double jump or, you know, various air trickster moves and stuff like that. So in terms of the game, like programming and logic, basically if you press the button fast enough, like let's say for example you do a Killer B, which basically is a downward diagonal attack with a Beowulf, You do that, and then you time it right by hitting jump, which interrupts and cancels a lot of moves. Basically, you can basically reset and do it multiple times. So, and it also, you gotta take into account like how close you are to enemies and stuff like that. So, like for example, like with the Cerberus, the ice nunchucks, you can like do some insane combos by like, you know, launching a dude in the air, then basically doing the standard attack, but then jump canceling it, making you be able to do it multiple times and faster than you would otherwise. So just crazy stuff like that is just pretty fascinating to see. And you know, you can do some literal game breaking stuff, which is probably like getting into speed running territory, but I'm not sure if I want to kind of dive into that completely, but I've been dabbling in it a little bit. I guess trying to get down the technique, because you have to be like insanely fast and frame perfect in terms of like, you know, getting those in. Yeah, the time is just impeccable. So it might be because I'm playing on a TV instead of a monitor, which in general most monitors have a faster response time. But I mean, for my TV, it's pretty reasonable response time as well. So maybe I'll try it with a monitor. That might be my barrier to get a feel for it. But boy, the combos and game breaking stuff they were doing was fascinating. And then on top of that now, because that was back then when you had a limited range of selecting only 2 weapons of each. But now you can select all weapons. You can, in theory, just like literally break the game yet again in terms of, you know, having every literal weapon at your arsenal, as well as all your styles, being able to switch and stuff. That is just crazy as hell to me. So yeah, I plan to go through Dante Must Die mode, which is, I guess, technically the hardest outside of Heaven and Hell mode. I think Heaven and Hell mode is basically one hit kill for both you and the enemy. So it's kind of a fun mode in that respect. I think like enemies with shields and stuff, you kind of have to take into account. But outside of that, I think it's kind of like a fun, kind of somewhat even mode where, you know, one hit kills. But generally the standard hardest mode is Dante Must Die mode, which, you know, I may, if I'm feeling it, I may stream it, stream my struggles in terms of trying to get through that mode, but we'll see. Might get some, might get a stream of that. Who knows? Yeah. So, outside of Devil May Cry 3, I actually got around to messing with the Steam controller. So for those that don't know, like it went on sale like ridiculously, insanely cheap. And I was like, I got it, but never tried to mess with it or you know, see how it was. And boy, man, it is a great piece of hardware, man. After messing around with it for a bit, it is pretty dope. So basically, at least probably the most commonly or most likely used scenario for it is either one for a Steam Link, if you have that, where you just connect it to your Steam Link and you play it that way, or two, basically for PC games that don't support a controller. It is pretty awesome. So basically, how it works for those that may not know is that basically, you know, you connect it to your PC, launch Steam or whatever, and then basically go into whatever game you want. And at least by default, it has basically a standard default layout where basically like right trigger, left trigger are like right mouse click, left mouse click, and then the right trackpad, at least it feels like a trackpad, but it's like kind of like a touch sensor type deal, or it could be both. I'm actually very fascinated by that technology of it. It's kind of mysterious, but basically it feels like a trackpad where basically you get the same feel as a mouse. And then, you know, the left stick is, you know, WASD, just basically an analog stick form. So basically it natively maps those by default. But let's say you launch a game. So like I was messing with Max Payne, and I was like just dabbling in that because that game doesn't natively support a controller. So I was like, yeah, let me just mess with Max Payne, see how it actually handles it. And at first it was like, wow, yeah, it's pretty cool. I could get used to it. It was missing, like a binding for painkillers and stuff like that. But I all I did was hit the Steam button, go to the menu, and basically go to controller profiles, and bless the Steam community. They have like basically numerous Steam profiles that you can like download and use for the Steam controller. I'm pretty sure maybe like the Xbox and other controllers too, in the same way. But it feels like the Steam controller is the most native, I guess. Yeah, pretty much the most native feeling of them all, considering it's the closest to emulating PC controls to a controller more than say the Xbox controller, which is I guess generally the de facto one for PC. But man, yeah, like I just straight up just downloaded a simple profile that had like a lot of good reviews, and man, it's like it's made for a controller, because like it basically had everything that made total logical sense in terms of from a control standpoint. You know, you can hit the left pad to cycle through your weapons. I believe there was a freaking quick save and quick load on our left and right bumpers. It was just fascinating to me for whatever weird reason. It probably seems simple at the surface, but I guess just for going through the various troubleshooting of trying to get video games to work at times, I guess it was just fascinating and humbling to see just software and hardware work so well in unison. Overlaying a PC game, which that in of itself can be just problematic for a lot of reasons, but it was just pretty cool. It was just pretty cool overall. I messed with Counter-Strike Go a bit. I think technically it kind of has some semi-native Steam support, it felt like. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd have to adjust the sensitivity, but in general, I got the gist of controlling it. Like, let's say if I hypothetically wanted to play Counter-Strike with a controller, which definitely isn't the way you should play Counter-Strike of all games, but it was cool. I got the gist of it, and I could see the feasibility of using it down the line, which is pretty damn cool, I have to admit. So I definitely recommend it if you are, I guess, kind of like me, where I do dabble in the PC here and there, but not at least being my primary method of playing games. I do dabble here and there, but my friends wanted to play something or something like that, I do dabble in that respect. But natively by myself, not as much. And if I do ultimately play with a controller in most cases. So I guess sticking on the PC train, I did mess around with Outer Worlds a bit more. I played with controller at first, but I was like, you know what? Let me switch to mouse and keyboard, since I had the ability to, and felt pretty good, felt pretty natural. Had to tweak some graphical settings a bit, because wasn't satisfied with the performance. I had 4K going, but it wasn't I just wanted to get that nice kind of synergy of 4K and 60 FPS. So unfortunately I had to knock down my resolution, or do the kind of like the dynamic scaling like the Xbox and PS4 Pro does. So I knocked it down like about 75%. Got a pretty much satisfactory performance. Felt like 60 to me. The graphics felt pretty good also. So was dabbling in that a bit. I'm getting engaged. I hear it's not a big time commitment either. So that might be my next game I might dive into outside of probably Modern Warfare. So yeah. And then of course the Halo Flight, in terms of the PC, I'm involved in that. They extended the date. I believe it was originally going to be this Monday, but I guess they extended it to further test some stuff out. It was pretty good. Feels pretty good. Feels like Halo on PC. That's probably the best compliment I could give, outside of the issues that happened last week. I think last episode I mentioned, but outside of that, pretty fine, pretty satisfied. no issues outside of that. So yeah, outside of all of that, I said that so many times, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to this week / past weekend. Yeah, been a pretty interesting week though. Still salty. PS4 didn't want to abide by my bet and announce stuff on the 25th. But you know what? Hey, now I'm gonna look like an idiot whenever I'm posting the forums. But you know what? It's okay. All right. All right, Sony. We gonna have to talk. I'm just saying. Getting tired of y'all trying to act like y'all the bad boy of the band, but you not in the band, you solo. Trying to be like you who you think you are. Who you think you are, Sony? The hell you think you are? Just saying. Okay. I'll throw these hands at you, Sony. I don't care. Like I'm just gonna try to hit everybody at Sony. No. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. I'm too strong. No. Get my ass beat. First security guard put me in a elbow lock. Oh, get his ass out of here. Oh, all right. Enough joking aside. If you are listening to this podcast, definitely be greatly appreciated if you could like, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff on your respective podcasting platforms. If you have any questions you'd like to submit to the show or to ultimately be read on the show, feel free to submit any questions to my email at aswitchtv@gmail.com. Is that it? Oh yeah. If you want to catch this podcast being recorded live, you can of course catch it on Twitch TV /aswitch, or if you want to catch an archive, you can do the same there. Still working on trying to get it on YouTube as well. That will happen at some point. So just giving you that buffer, just giving you that notification, just giving you that prior notice. Is that it? Yeah, I think that is it. I think that'll do it for episode 44 of Switch's Sights. Again, thank you all for listening and or watching. And until next time, get your damn game on. Actually, let me do it in my voice. Get your damn game on.